Good Thursday morning. I was hoping I would roll over in the middle of the night, look at my phone, and see that Aaron Rodgers was traded to the New York Jets. That did not happen. We are still waiting for it to happen or some sort of news before this week is out. I still predict it's going to happen at Friday at 10:03. But you got a lot of New York Jets that were recruiting Aaron Rodgers to the Jets yesterday on social media. Tyler Conklin, bringing a Super Bowl to New York would be legendary. You take everyone on this offense to the next level. Let's get it done. From the darkness to New York. See you soon. And many others jumping on board. So they are recruiting. So we'll see what happens if he's even paying attention to that. You got a big night locally with the Rangers, the Islanders, the Devils, and the Knicks, and we'll get into them at some point. And a crazy story out of Newark that I can't wait to tell you about. All of it coming up. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Good morning there, Jay. You know, there was a report last night that said that the internal Jets brass wanted to go with Derek Carr. However, Woody Johnson was the fly in the ointment and said, no, we're not going with Derek Carr. We're going all in for Aaron Rodgers.
I better be right.
Well, you better be right. And, you don't gas up the jet and fly out to Malibu without thinking that you're going to be right. And, you don't take the cap guy with you and everything else to sit down and talk with Aaron and tell him this is how we need to do things. And financially, this is what we want to do. And this is how we can then move forward and spend money. And whether or not that is true or not, I don't know that. I don't know whether or not Woody was the one that was driving the Aaron Rodgers train, and yet the other guys in the building wanted Derek Carr. I still believe that if the Jets and Joe Douglas want to keep Zach Wilson on the team, then the Derek Carr thing was never going to happen. Because Derek Carr did not want to step into that situation here in this city. Mm-hmm. All right. And he found his home down in New Orleans with his former coach, Dennis Allen, who was just slobbering all over him, and how happy he is.
Solid, too.
Yeah. You have to. I mean, you guess that, Rob Saleh's in a really weird spot. Like, he knows he needs a quarterback, and he knows, I think Derek Carr is the safety net, or was the safety net, that we could win with Derek, and Derek's really good enough, and we love him as a person, we love him as a leader, and he would be all in here. However, there's that other little thing called Zach Wilson, and I just think that Derek Carr was probably like, you know what, I can't wait around, I got to make a decision, the Saints are pushing the buttons, I didn't get enough other opportunities. I talked to a couple other teams. There was not enough money there. There wasn't enough term there. So I really feel like this is, the way for me to go anyway. And he probably is right. I believe he's right. But for those who think that maybe Woody Johnson is driving his train, I mean, quite frankly, it's the best situation for the Jets if they are keeping Zach Wilson on the roster. This is why you would want Aaron Rodgers to be here. And this is why these players would be recruiting him. So if you're flying out there and you have Joe Douglas, you have Rob Saleh, you have Nathaniel Hackett, you have Woody, and you have Jaime, who is their cap guy.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's there, to sit down and explain exactly what the Jets can do financially if he takes a deal in the range that they were hoping that he would take a deal. And I got to believe that with all of this going on, that Aaron's probably just hanging, waiting, and just waiting, and then he'll basically announce, or the Green Bay Packers will announce they decided to trade him, and then the signing will happen, and then Joe Douglas can basically go out there and refortify this team. And one thing everybody's got to remember, if this Mekhi Becton thing is real, and he is back, and he's 100%, that is like getting a free agent at this time that nobody expected anything from. So that is a big get for the Jet offensive line if, in fact, he is healthy, his mind is right, and he's ready to go.
If Woody Johnson is driving all of this and he gets Aaron Rodgers here and that ends up working out, an owner who has been much maligned with the fan base, I think immediately it turns. If that is the truth, that he was the one that was saying, no, not Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers. If he comes here and they win.
It's all how this thing is perceived. It's either perceived as an owner meddling, or it's perceived as an owner going all in. Depending on how you look at it.
Owner, this is an owner going all in.
All right, but I'm just saying, it depends on how you look at it.
Well,
so
how do you look? You think it's meddling?
If it's true, I don't know if it's true. It's all based on rumors and stuff out of the stupid combine and everything else. But if they get Aaron Rodgers, it's an owner going all in. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely.
Now, the other thing too is like, this is like New York, and this story is New York because when the story comes out, it's wrought with rumor, and it's not any basis of fact, other than whoever wants to believe that Woody is getting in the way of his football guys. I have to believe that, part of being an owner is you're allowed to have influence on your team. And if your general manager says to you, look, we could have Derek Carr right now for this amount of money, or there's a really good chance that we can have Aaron Rodgers for this compensation going to Green Bay, and I believe that we can end up paying him this much money, and then if you allow me to go spend money in free agency on top of doing hopefully another great draft like he had last year, we could have a really great team here. So I'm sure that those are two different options that he presented to Woody Johnson, and Woody Johnson probably said, I want Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, to me, an owner meddling would be in the draft room on draft night and saying that I like this guy better. That, to me, would be an owner meddling. The stuff that we heard about, like, Dan Snyder would get involved. I know that Jerry Jones is also the general manager, but there were times he wanted to draft Johnny Manziel, and he had to get talked off the ledge with that. Like, that, to me, is meddling, because that's real football stuff. Like, anybody who's ever watched football knows that Aaron Rodgers is better than Derek Carr. Now, I know you'd have Derek Carr for a longer amount of time.
But you don't want him for a longer amount of time because
if you want Zach Wilson.
If you want Zach Wilson, your second overall draft. That's the complicated aspect about all of this. It's just it's interesting to me that, a story like that comes out. And I was just thinking, that's New York. That's the way that it works around here.
Well, who does it benefit if it's coming out? The people who wanted Derek Carr? Derek Carr's agent? I mean, who does it benefit, really?
Exactly. So I don't know where that comes from. Supposedly the football people wanted Derek Carr. Is that Joe Douglas wanted Derek Carr?
Well,
is that Rob Saleh wanted Derek Carr? Who told him that he could be a Hall of Famer if he came here?
Rob Saleh did, right?
Yeah, did he?
That's what I assumed. I don't know. It never was reported, but it said the Jets told him that. I just thought that was Rob Saleh with the way he was talking about him, right?
And, most of the articles about Rob Saleh, around this type of thing are very, very positive, that most players come here because they like to play for Rob Saleh, that they like him, they like the reputation that he has, and most of the players enjoy playing for him. It's just that, the way that the whole quarterback thing got so screwed up last year, some of it was out of his control, some of it he allowed to happen. And every coach is going to make mistakes somewhere along the line, and remember that was his second year, and he's got to learn. He's got to have a little bit better grasp. As Joe Beningo asked him about being soft on the players, I don't think he's soft on the players. I just think you got to have a better grasp about your players and what they're doing and an understanding of things that they shouldn't do and they should do. Fortunately enough, not a lot of guys have gotten in trouble, but a couple guys asked for trades last year.
Yeah.
They wore the T-shirts with the Mike White face on it. Those types of things, have to be handled by the head coach. Yeah. I believe. I mean, the head coach has got to basically try to get to that player or the players and say, guys, we're not doing this. And this is the way it's got to go. So I would give him a mark against him on that, but he actually has attracted some free agents here. And, when was the last time? And I was trying to think about this. I don't know if it's ever happened. And maybe it's been in print and I haven't found it. When was the last time an NFL team had both the rookie, offensive, and defensive player of the year?
I don't know. That is a very, very good question. When that happened, I believe that we didn't find out then either. I don't think that was out there. No one said it was the first time since, because that was a big conversation when they had both. Now, I'd have to go back and find it. That tells you that
the GM knows what the hell he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, now, if you told me that the owner was in there meddling about, draft only offensive players to get the best out of your young quarterback instead of going after Sauce Gardner, I tell you, that's meddling.
Yeah.
And, there's something about the kids, Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, that bring a youthful, just an energy that, a lot of these young kids are bringing to the teams. It's kind of like when Odell Beckham got to the Giants. He knew he was great, and he knew he was going to be a great player. And he went out and performed that way his rookie year. These two guys make me feel that way about the Jets. Here's this youthful energy, and they expect to win because they come from winning programs, and they are winning players, and they are confident players.
You could throw Quinnen Williams in there as well, who is, of course, a couple years older, not a rookie or last year, but still another one of those guys who was about to get a big contract as well. Do you think that the Jets told their players to go out and recruit Aaron Rodgers yesterday on Twitter? Because it all happened around the same time. Now, it wasn't so Sauce was out there, Quinnen Williams was out there, Breece Hall was out there the day before. Yesterday it was Rob Saleh's brother. It was Tyler Conklin. It was Justin Hardy. There was another really funny one in there as well.
There's going to be a lot of disappointed people if it doesn't happen. And I think smoke equals fire, and I think it's going to happen. I really do. And I think, Al, you're just going to be inundated with calls about Aaron Rodgers and the offensive line literally for the next 8 months. So you better buckle up, kid. I know you hate sports talk radios, but you better buckle up for that.
Buckled.
So what was the one that you read? I can't find it. I was laughing. The one guy, get your ass here. Who was that who said get your ass here?
It was some special teamer guy. CeeLo had it. Let me ask him.
Oh, man.
Get your ass here.
Yeah. One guy wrote on, I forget who it was. He was like, get your ass here. We're going to get that chip or something, whatever it was. And I was like, imagine if that was the tipping point for Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, get your ass here.
I just want to tell the Jet fans out there, look at how your team is reacting to this.
Oh, yeah.
Look at how all the players are reacting to this.
Yeah, they weren't doing the same thing with Derek Carr.
Oh, no.
They weren't doing the same thing with Zach Wilson.
Who was it, Al? Do you know?
Will Parks.
Will
I'm
Parks.
looking it up right now. Philly Will is what he's on Twitter. And, wow, he's up already. Huh.
He's up tweeting already? Or
he's
maybe
up
he hasn't gotten
tweeting
to bed?
already. He is up tweeting already. He just tweeted some 12 seconds ago. He goes, early morning thoughts and work. And then, so here was his tweet. Hey, yo, Aaron, bring that ass over here, broski. You know what it is with us. Thanks in advance, brother. We appreciate it. And tagged him.
Oh, we got to call up Willie Parks and let's get him on right now.
That would be great.
Yeah.
The Jets are probably scrambling to get in touch with him to say, do not go on that show.
Why not?
Oh, because he's going to say stuff like, bring your ass here, broski.
Yeah, that's good, though, man. We like it.
It is good. I mean, I would probably, oh, come on. Someone's tweeting me now that Woody Johnson's plane is going to Baltimore today. Stop it. I can't. No, that can't be real. That cannot. But they're showing me the flight aware thing. I have to check that out in the break. But yeah, if Parks is, you think he'll, I mean, if he's got DMs, he doesn't have a ton of followers. If you could DM him, I wonder if we could get him on. If
he's been around the league a while. He was in San Francisco.
His DMs are open there, Al. If you want to send one.
Is that Twitter or
Twitter?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's Philly Will 11. And he's up, and he's probably going to take a look at he's up and tweeting. So why not? Bring that ass over here.
Bring that ass. Yo.
Yeah, isn't that what Bruce Coslett sent to you in a fax back in the day? Bring that ass over here, broski.
Oh, yeah. God. I mean, everybody's jacked up for it, I can tell you that.
Well, of course. I mean, do you think that Zach Wilson is so calloused now by what happened last year with Mike White that this recruitment stuff doesn't bother him any longer, especially because it's Aaron Rodgers?
I think if he's worth anything, it does bother him. I mean, he thinks of himself as a starting quarterback. Jet fans don't. I understand that.
Yeah.
I think that there are things that he has done on the field where you say, wow. And then there are other things you say that he does on the field, and you say, oh boy,
yeah,
that kind of thing. So I just feel like the momentum now is just a matter of time. I can't imagine that
he loves this.
I can't.
But he's got to understand it, no? I mean, it's of course it makes
understanding is one thing, liking it is another.
Yeah, right, of course.
I understood why the Bengals drafted David Klingler back in 1992. I understood that.
But it's still burned.
But I'm like, all right, so get me out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
So I understand what you're trying to do, but how does it personally affect me?
Sure.
That's the way you have to look at it. And I wasn't very happy about it. I didn't particularly care for him as a player or as a guy that came in there.
Yeah.
And it never really worked out for him anyway. But it's a weird, quarterback room's a weird thing. We all have to be the A-type personality. We all want to be the leader of the team, and we all want to be the guy. And sometimes it doesn't work out, and it really does sting. There's no question about it, and it is a blow to the confidence and to the ego without question.
Well, if Zach Wilson knows what you're saying about them wanting to keep him and Aaron Rodgers being the best option for him to stay and develop and then getting another chance after a couple of years. Then he's got to feel good about that.
I would hope that he would feel good about that, and that there are people still over there that do believe that there is a potential where they can find something. If he just learned under a new coaching staff with a guy like Aaron in front of him, they may unlock something there.
Sure.
And that's what they're hoping, I would believe. And then, if not, they'll either end up cutting him or trading him. The other thing, too, is that there are a ton of guys that are project guys all over the league, and first-round draft pick, project guys. I would probably tell you that Lamar Jackson, when he was drafted, they probably said, project guy. We got to find the right offense for him. And they had to change the entire offense once they decided to move on to him and move away from Joe Flacco.
Yeah, and they were tired of Joe Flacco at that point. Even though he delivered a championship, they wanted a guy who could move.
And they wanted energy. They wanted young. They wanted energy. They wanted excitement. That's the kind of guy like I think Anthony Richardson is. He blew everybody away at the combine. But I think most people would tell you that he's going to be a project. Guys that get drafted all the time are projects. I mean, I'm sure Brock Purdy was a 7th-round project.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we don't think he's going to end up playing, but, that's a project. Maybe we can develop this kid. And then all of a sudden he gets out there and he blows everybody away with his poise and his ability to handle all of the different things that Kyle Shanahan was throwing at him. So you can't give up on Zach Wilson just yet, although there are a lot of people that already have. But people internally, they just can't give up just yet. You got to wait. Like, look at Jordan Love now. How long has he waited?
Well, this is going to be, it was at least 3 full years, right?
That's right. So how long did Aaron Rodgers wait?
It was 3 full years.
Right. Zach Wilson came here, and they ruined him just like they ruined, Sam Darnold, and they ruined Mark Sanchez. They threw him out there immediately when they were not ready. And, you never know how that impacts a player. Look, Trey Lance, that's a project. They drafted him number 3 overall. They're not giving up on him yet out there in San Francisco.
But what it is that Anthony Richardson will probably get drafted in the top 10 because of the talent. But the pressure on these teams and the pressure from the fan base to want to see him is something that's very, very hard not to cave into. And it could be the difference of having a franchise quarterback or not.
Did you see what happened to Malik Willis last year?
Yes. Oh, my God.
Do you remember what it was? We were talking about him coming out of the combine and coming out of the draft. And everybody thought he was going to be a first rounder, and then
the 4th round,
right? Then he kept slipping and slipping and slipping because the team saw something. They saw raw talent for sure. But they knew that he wasn't ready to run a professional offense just yet.
Yeah.
He barely played at Liberty, for God's sake. And then when he gets into a game in Tennessee, they can't even throw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, let alone in front of the line of scrimmage. You want to talk about somebody that wasn't ready, but somebody who was an incredible athlete. Now, maybe when he comes back this year, he'll have a better understanding of what's going on, and maybe the light will go on and he'll play better as opposed to like getting his brain in front of him, thinking too much as opposed to naturally playing.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about this Will Parks calling us this morning because he's locked in.
I've already just talked with him. He said, at first he said after 10. I said, no, that's not good. Then he said, how about 8:30? I said, good.
All right, great. Look at that.
We'll
Awesome.
see what happens here.
No, I mean, but listen, the Jets like us. Come on. He's not going to say
They like
anything.
us?
They like us.
They like us, yeah.
They love you. They like me, I think. I mean, I don't know. It's not like I feel like the Yankees don't love me sometimes. I think now that I'm friends with Alex Cohen, I think that the Mets like me. Mm-hmm. But the Jets, I feel like they like me. We're not going to screw them. And by the way, he's already recruiting Aaron Rodgers on Twitter. He knows what to say. I mean, Ayo, Aaron, bring that ass over here, broski. I mean, he put that out on Twitter. If he said the same thing here, it wouldn't be a big deal, would it?
It wouldn't be a big deal, no.
No.
And I think you want to have like a personality like that come on and talk about what it would mean for the team and what it would mean for him and the morale of the team and how the team would automatically believe the moment they step on the field in training camp and OTAs that they're ready to rock and roll this year.
Absolutely. And Will Parks is the guy to deliver that message.
I feel like it.
I know it.
Yeah, I know you know it.
All right. Crystal Presti joins us a couple minutes with an update. It's Boomer and Gio just getting started on this Thursday morning.